first of all, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. My name is Joanne Stewart. I am the CEO and the lead consultant for E.A.G.L.E Consulting Services, and today I am sharing with you a PEP Talk, which is my platform for parent engagement. It's called PEP Talk because that's Parent Engagement Pop-Up, and through this platform, our goal is to be able to interview parents that are in our community making a difference and doing some exceptional things. So we also have pep rallies that take place quarterly, and our pep rally coming up is going to be September 10th. I hope that you will mark your calendars and plan to join us. I have a special guest with me today who is not only an exceptional parent, but happens to be someone that is really close to our family and is my son-in-law. So I just am glad to have Mr. Trey Dortch here with us today. He goes by Thomas Dortch, and we call him Trey. He has a exceptional perception of working with families to really focus on health and wellness. And we're going to explore what that looks like from his vantage point. He's going to share with us some exciting news that he has coming up for next week. And I want you all to just take some notes and we'll just have a conversation today. So, Trey, welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. It's always exciting, but nervous at the same time. Anytime we're talking about parenting.
Oh boy.
Because you want to think that you're doing everything right, but it's always something to learn. But I'm here and ready for whatever questions you have.
Well, I'm just glad that you're here and you said yes. The first thing that I want to do is to give you a chance to share a little bit about what you have coming up.
So, we have big news. July 17th will be the grand opening of Prime Theory Wellness. In 2016, I started a company called the Prime Theory Company. It was all about health and wellness. We literally started out making shirts to bring awareness to the disparities in the minority community. So it had all kind of sayings, slogans. Did well with that, but I knew I had to pivot and do more. So with Prime Theory Wellness, opening July 17th, we'll offer several services like yoga, meditation, sauna, but we also have a strong focus on mental health. Mental health is very big because I talk about my experiences, what I've been through over the years, and I felt it was necessary that I bring something that the community can benefit. So, our pillars are mental, physical, social, emotional, financial, and environmental wellness and well-being. And we want to touch on all of those. So it won't just be physical fitness, it'll be mental fitness, it'll be understanding the ins and outs, the caveats of the economic world, and those are just a few of the pieces to it.
Well, let's take a moment and kind of dissect that a little bit at a time, because that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
And when you're talking about wellness, you're encompassing so much today that has been overlooked for years, especially in our communities. So why did you use this type of platform? Did you see this type of platform as the way to approach it?
Well, yes. Often when I've even talked to people about wellness and health, the only thing they talk about is fitness. Getting in the gym, working out. I'm going to be healthy. Oh, I've been eating bad, so let me go work out and I'll be better. Or, oh, I've been in a slump, let me go work out and I'm going to be better. And fitness is literally, I wouldn't even put it at one of the top issues in our community when it comes to health and wellness. It's our diet. It's how we are living economically. Like, there are some pressures and there are some barriers that we face in the minority community. So we have to understand and have the knowledge before we can improve or attack those barriers when it comes to economics.
How about all the stressors in life that are there?
So many stressors, and it starts mentally. It's not only what you digest in your diet, but it's what you ingest in your mind. We're dealing with a lot of that. So mental wellness, mental health is the number one issue to me. I think a lot of things can be altered or changed positively if we really focus on our mental health.
I think you are onto something there. I really believe, especially as parents, we tend to put our mental health on last, on the back burner, because there's so many other things that are going on and pulling us, away from that. How, as a parent, do you manage that for yourself?
Well, I've always been told, and my mother says this, and I used to think of it as being selfish, but my mother would always say, you have to take care of yourself first. You can't take care of anybody else until you take care of yourself. And I, probably younger, took it the wrong way, like I need to be selfish. Don't worry about anybody else. But it really was just saying, I need to make sure that I'm stable. I need to make sure that I'm clear mentally. I have the least amount of stress as possible, because it's reflected on our children and the people we interact with. So I have to really figure out that balance, get organized, have a clear vision mentally, physically, and everything else, so that I can lead by example and lead my family thereafter. So, that's the biggest thing. And I think a lot of parents put so much stress on themselves, and they never really stop to give themselves grace. Like understanding that I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to ever be the perfect parent. No parent is perfect.
Perfect, exactly.
But you have to understand I'm present. That's step one. And that's a big step. There are a lot of absent parents. There are a lot of absent figures just in our community. And it starts with just being there first.
Do you, and I commend you on that. I think that's very true, and it's really a valid point, even that your mom brings up in regards to taking care of yourself first. Even when we go on trips and flights, they tell you to tell you what, put the oxygen mask on.
First.
Exactly. So if you're not taking care of you, how are you going to take care of others, right?
Impossible.
Exactly. So I just think that it's important to point that out. I really want to encourage our audience to come out to your open house, because I feel like it's the beginning of something really great for our communities, that we need this.
And we're still learning. July 17th, Sunday, 4 to 8 p.m. We're going to talk about everything that we have in store.
Yeah, you've got some guest speakers coming too, right?
Yeah, we have a few. Matthew McCourty from Black Health. We have Kiana Howell, who is a therapist here locally, who is my therapist at one point.
Yeah.
Of course, my wife, Janice Stewart, who will be talking about the special needs community, and actually Angela Brown as well, who comes from the special needs community, and we often overlook the disabilities and special needs in our community.
There you go.
It's very prevalent in our community, but we try to sweep it under the rug, and what does that lead to? That leads to more stress, that leads to more economic issues, that leads to so much more. But there are opportunities, there are resources, there's a lot out there that we can take advantage of.
And I see the Prime Theory wellness location and that concept being like a hub.
Yes.
For just connecting the dots.
Yes.
For wellness and health for the community. That's what I kind of envision it.
People always, a lot of people come to me and say, you're opening a gym, and I don't get frustrated, but it's like, no, it's so much more than that. Like we'll have that physical fitness there, but we're tackling those pillars that I mentioned. But mental health is really a big one. We want to make sure that people in disability, because mental health is a disability, well, when you're struggling with it, but this is a place that you can come to get those resources that you need, to find new ways to manage your daily life when you're dealing with disability, mental health, and so on and so forth. And we're, like I said, we're young, we're new, we're not going to have all the answers, but we're looking for those answers.
Well, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, we have to start somewhere. So many times I've been in areas where people talk and talk and talk, but what are they actually doing? We want to make sure that we're doing something.
That's the key right there.
It's no more just talk. Talk is definitely necessary, but you have to go past that and create action.
Do you envision something like this being something that can kind of be in different cities or different locations eventually?
No doubt. I'm already in the planning phase.
Wow.
We get this ready. We have a 3 to 5 year plan where we're going to expand. And I've seen people like E.A.G.L.E, the expansion that she's done so rapidly. I feel like this is prime time, and we have an opportunity to to do the same thing. And yeah, we're speaking in two different industries, two different spaces, but the call for the things that are needed is now, and we're here to answer that call.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's really important to hear, and to see that you have a vision beyond here in Atlanta, but going even, because there's a huge need outside of this in our rural communities and a lot of the areas that are just not being serviced by mental health, professionals.
Yeah.
There are just some huge needs there that need to be addressed.
And the sad thing is there's a lot of funding, there's a lot of resources in our local counties, our cities, but no one is giving that information to the inner city kids. No one's giving that information to the underserved community. So that is something that we have to do. We feel like we are the tool, we are the presence that is needed to get that information out.
I tend to agree, and I think it's a great step that you're making with this opportunity. When you think of yourself as a parent now, I know we have new grandbaby, new daughter, and the challenges of balancing of even a blended family. What are the things that you think that parents tend to, I know you mentioned grace, not giving yourself enough grace. How do you see that applied in your own life as a parent?
Well, not only grace, but I have to say this, and I know it's not possible in every single dynamic of a family, but there's nothing more important than having a mother, father, or two figures to raise kids. I've been through it. I still consider myself a young parent, but I have an 18-year-old, and he's going off to college. Thank goodness. It's been a long road, but I saw so many challenges as a single father, him having a single mother, that we all face, that it's definitely a different dynamic having two parents. But it's not enough to just have two parents present in the home. We have to be on the same page first. So we have to work together. We're a team. Whenever we're coming to our children in any instance, we have to make sure we're solid and we're on the same page. Like we have to have, as my wife always says, that solid front. And sometimes like a military family. But that's one of the biggest things, is having parents who may have different ideologies, coming from different backgrounds, but we can come together with a common goal and implement those goals and plans with our children for the best. Always for the children.
Well, and that's the key thing. We all want the best for our children. We may go about it different ways, and things are different now compared to how it used to be raising children. When I look at my journey with my children and my husband and I, it was a challenge with some of the things that we were going through at that time. And now you're looking at even, with the use of electronics and what's okay, what's not. Trying to squeeze in family time, and I know you like to go out and into the nature and that sort of thing too, and so it's hard to really make those times and make it intentional. So how do you balance that? How do you do that for yourself?
Well, I have to tell you one thing, and my children may think I'm anti-technology, and I'm not. It's just that coming from a health and wellness background, technology has robbed our children of a lot of that opportunity to be out in the sun, vitamin D, just exercise. A lot of kids are living a sedentary lifestyle, and that's something that I'm really against. But there can be a healthy balance, because technology is making sure that knowledge and education and resources at the fingertips. So I can't hate on that, but we definitely trying to find that healthy medium where kids have so much time on these electronics, and then it's another time for family, for reading, for being outside. And it's tough. It's not that easy, because we have busy lifestyles too, and it's kind of easy at times to say, here, just take this tablet and let us do what we're trying to do to whatever. But I mean, it's tough, but it's something that it's an ongoing battle. But even on technology, there's a lot of resources that can be used, like restricting certain things on the computer.
We talked about that at the PEP rally last time too. There were some insights on that.
One of the gentlemen was talking about how you can kind of like shadow what they're doing. You don't even have to disconnect it, but you can really get a sense of what they're looking at, what they're doing.
Yes.
So you can know how to approach them and talk to them. and come in a positive manner instead of, oh, you hear or see something and just automatically snap and think they're doing something wrong. It's a lot of opportunities there.
There's growth for everybody.
Yes.
On both sides. Tell me, I'm kind of switching gears a little bit, but what was your opinion? Because I know you had a chance to come and be one of the panelists for the first pep rally that we had in May. What was your impression? What was it like to you? And what would you recommend it for any other parents?
Much needed. It's definitely a much needed tool, much needed event, much needed program. We have parents on all levels, all experience levels, all ages.
Yeah.
I think we can all learn from each other. And the panelists all spoke from a different place. You know, there was one that spoke financially. I think it was insurance and teaching us about that, which is every family has to have that in mind.
Right.
A lot of families don't though, because they don't know about it. Of course, talking about health and wellness when I was on there, I think it's very much so needed. We had people from tech teaching me. I learned a lot about how to manage what's going on in the household. But a lot of parents are doing a lot of stuff blind. They don't know what's really going on. Like you said, times are always changing. And it needs to be times where it's dedicated to just the parents, where they can learn and they're engaged.
See, that's kind of my premise behind putting something like that together is because a lot of times as parents, we spend so much time in the thick of things, we don't get a chance to step away and really see, okay, am I doing this? Is it really working, or am I just spinning my wheels? Do I need to make some adjustments and changes, and how would that look for my family? Because the way you raised your family is different from how I raised mine. So we have to be honest with ourselves first, and then say, okay, be open to hearing new ideas and new perspectives. You know, that's kind of my premise behind it. So I'm glad you found it valuable and helpful.
PTA is not enough, because even when you go to PTA, it's a lot of time spent on what your kids are doing or not doing. So you're not really engaging the parents to figure out what they are and aren't doing. So the pep rally is definitely needed, and you know, I think it's on us as parents to get the word out and to make sure that is as much involvement as possible, because whether you think it's directly or indirectly, we're all affected by what other parents are doing. Our kids are in school dealing with other kids, and they're influenced by what those kids are doing, and it comes back home.
It will.
So as much as some parents may think, oh, I don't need to be that hands-on, or I can just send kids to school and school to take care of it. First of all, it's not the school's responsibility to raise the kids. It's the school's responsibility to teach the kids. But most of the learning and engagement and growth starts at home. So we need these tools to help us balance life, work, play, and just balance a family lifestyle.
No, I appreciate that. I like that too. It's an addition to what you already have. I mean, we can never get enough support.
No, never.
You know, when it comes to this, we are inevitable when it comes to, you know, making mistakes, finding out our weaknesses. Our children, if you are a parent long enough, you're going to realize that they're going to really let you see where your weaknesses are. And so you have to be very vulnerable and honest about that, and then being able to address that and grow from it. You know, I just really like to adopt a growth mindset to parent engagement. And so I'm just really glad to have this time to be able to share, and you be able to share about what you do. You know, right now, I know this won't be the last time. Because we will maybe can get you to come back again and talk a little bit.
I'll be there.
If
I'm able, I'm definitely there.
Well, even to do another pep talk, because I think after you've opened and you kind of have a chance to get it momentum going, it would be nice to have you to come back, and maybe if there's a particular area or focus that you're working on, at that time we can discuss that, or have someone who's working with you, you know, there, because you'll have yoga there and some other hot yoga. Is that what it's called?
Well, right now we're holding off on the hot yoga, but we'll definitely have yoga, vinyasa, and restorative. We'll have meditation. We'll have group exercise like the HIIT classes and Zumba.
Good.
Like I said, we'll have the saunas there too. But hopefully we can bring the pep talks to
I
Prime
look forward
Theory.
to that.
That would be key. That's a whole nother community that's definitely suffering. You know, APS has some of the worst testing scores and just considered some of the worst schools around. And one of the mistakes, or some of the mistakes that a lot of parents think, is blame it all on APS and blame it on the teachers. When if we were more involved and push the envelope more with the cities, with the counties, a lot more can be done. I remember being out in Gwinnett for a while, and I saw how much different it is in Gwinnett versus in my side of town. But the key factor was the parent involvement, the parent engagement, and a lot of the parents were not only just engaged physically, but they were donors. They were making sure that things were taken care of in the school, and we need that over here. So Prime Theory Wellness has its doors open for PEP Talks to come there.
Well, we look forward to that. I that would be wonderful. And I just, I know that as a community, we have been, in years past, our community has been very engaged when it came to education. It's just coming back to that time, as well as embracing what is new for the season that we're in. You know what I mean? We can't go back and say we want to do it all the same because we're living in different times now. But we can at least come to a place of saying, okay, how do we culturally engage with our parents? You know what I mean? How do we be intentional? How can we be more intentional about bringing them to the table and meeting them where they are too?
Definitely.
So those are two things that we can approach it from. I really appreciate this time with you.
No doubt.
This has been good.
Anytime.